Hey. Previously, we tried to build our domain layer for our CRUD application, or inside our feature, there is an article we are going to build. We are building our domain layer, but we just missed something inside our entity. User entity is not required. Previously, like I said, user entity is not required, but when I was thinking, it's just mandatory. We need to implement it, and we don't implement our get bookmark use cases for our local data remote source. We are going to implement those two things, and we are going to implement our data layer as we should. Let's start building our get bookmark use case. Going to implement use case for type. What we are going to accept, we are going to accept article, and what we are going to pass, we are not going to pass anything. To do that, we are going to use no params, and let's implement it. Final article repository is going to be article repository. Let's build a constructor for this repository, and let me implement this one, override it, and we are going to return await. You are using await. What we are going to do is going to be asynchronous await article repository dot get bookmark article. That's all we need. I think when we try to get bookmark article, we need to use list, because we are going to expect list of article. I just miss it when I'm implementing it. Let's close this bracket. Oh, this is not starting with this one. It's going to be look like this. That's how we are going to implement our get bookmark use case. After that, we are going to create. What we are going to create is, let me create our user entity. Let's create user slash starting with domain. Inside our domain, let's create entity in entity. Inside our entity folder, we are going to create user entity. Entity dot. Let's implement our user data or user entity. Where is my user entity? To do that, we need check our parameters. Okay, let's create a class for user entity, and we are going to add these things. I want to copy paste it because I don't want to rewrite everything. Our article required import. Let's create a constructor for this one. Then we need to create static value for every single one of them. To do that, static get mpt. When this thing is mpt, what we are going to do, we are going to do user entity boom, and what we are going to do, we just want to pass just empty string for everything. Boom, going to be empty string. And for article, we are going to use empty array or empty list. After that, what we are going to do is to just override it. Not override. There is any prop. There is no prop. For that, we just choose object, then list object, and to be get our props, and we are going to return just entity list, and for that we are going to copy paste it here. We need to close with semicolon. That's how we are going to implement our user entity. Are already seeing this problem, how to create an entity. I don't want to waste your time. Then let me add something in here. Final user entity is going to be author. We need to require this author in here. Not like this. We just need it with required this author, and we need to add author in here. Author. That is for our author. Then we can implement our model. I think so. We don't want to do anything. Plus, we are going to build model for our user entity. Let's create data model slash user model. So that we are going to implement this one, and we are going to create for article. We are going to create domain, not domain data slash model slash article. So that just article model dot start. Then let's implement it. Okay. For our article model, what we are going to do. Okay. Let's create a class for article model, and we are going to extend with article entity. What is an article entity? Yeah, just an article. There is no entity in here, and we are going to call our article model, and in this model we are going to require everything. Plus you can use like super constructor or super, that called super constructor. I have no idea. You can use super. To do that, require super author, required super content, required super date, required super dot id, required super like, required super photo URL, required super subtitle, required super text, required super title. That's what we need to do. Then we can factory it. After that, we can factory it. Factory article vehicle model dot from JSON, and we are going to use map string dynamic JSON. Then what we are going to return, of course, we are going to return our article model. Before that, we need to implement something for our author and tags. Those things are separate entities. We can call them just article model. To do that, final tags is going to be JSON of tags, or and we need to map it out with tags model. That's tags. Where is tags model? Oh, we didn't create our tag model. Let me create it. Tags model dot start. Let's create a class tag model, and it's going to extend tag entity. Here is tag entity, and we need to create. Now, of course, we need to initialize this just yeah. Tags model is going to require super name. I think that's all we need to do to create our tags. If I didn't miss it, yeah. Plus, we can use our const to remove this blue color. It's going to be constant. Let me build our tags model. Then this tags model is going to be name, and this name is tags model name. I think that's all we need to our tags. Plus, we need to change it into list, because it's going to be list of string. That's all we need for our tags. What about for user model? Yeah, user model is not created, but we are going to create it. Where is my user model? Here is it. Let's create a class. User model is going to extend user entity, and let's initialize model, and we are going to require super dot equal require the super dot bio, and require super dot script at require super dot email, require super dot expertise, require super dot full name, required super dot id, require super dot image, and require super dot image cloud. That's all you need to create our user model. After that, what we are going to do, we need to factory everything. For our factory, user model is going to be dot from JSON. Yeah, going to map it with string or dynamic and JSON. we are going to return our user model. Only thing is going to be complicated is our article. Let me copy paste something for you because I don't want to spend all of my day in here. Then all of this one, and for our model we are going to return these things, and I will implemented article because article is going to be a little bit confusing. And semicolon, and for our article, what we are going to do, the first thing is, if that thing is available in our REST API, what we are going to return, we are going to check it, our articles. We are going to check this JSON value, and if this thing is null, what we are going to return, we are going to return just const of empty list. Otherwise, what we are going to return, we are going to return JSON of articles as a list, and we are going to map is and before mapping it out, let me add article model. Where is my article model? Here is it. And to implement this thing, article model is going to be not just article from. It's from JSON. Here is it, from JSON, and it's going to be just n. Why did I get all the red lines? I think I missed something. Oh, plus we need to change it into list. That's, I just miss it, and it just add semicolon. Yeah, that's great for our user model, and we just need to map our string or dynamic, and we are going to change it into JSON, and we are going to return. Oh, it's going to be not list, just dictionary. And inside here, let me copy paste it because I don't want to rewrite everything except for our article, because that article is going to be confusing. I'll explain it later why this thing is articles. Articles dot map we're going to do m as an article model to JSON. We need just to change it to list. We have something. We just map it out and article as model. Everything should work, but at this time it's not working. What am I missing? JSON is not working. Just change it into list from JSON. It's going to be working as to JSON. Oh, our article model is going to be implemented fully. To do that, let me call user model. User model is going to be outer, and we are going to try. We are going to try outer is going to be user model, and I just wanted to copy paste it. Okay, let me write everything in my hand. For our article, we are going to return const entity list. For bio, what we are going to return, bio is going to be JSON of JSON of user. Then after user, there is something bio. I think that's how our API is working. Let me check it. My API for user. What we are going to get it. Just forget it. Oh, we got our user module. Here is it. We are going to access this user, and we are going to return ID, full name, expertise, bio, etc. until our article, and we are going to return tags. Yeah, everything is look like this. That's perfect. Okay, I think you got the whole idea. Otherwise, if you can't access this thing, what we are going to do? If you can't access this thing, it's going to be return short by string. That's all we need to do. Alright, this thing is not shrinking. That's that error. Okay. Created at it's going to be JSON. And we are going to create right here. There is a user. Everything is starting with user. JSON user. And it's going to be our email. If you can't get our email, what we are going to return, just random email address. It's going to be test at gmail.com. Oh, this thing is going to be string. Test at gmail.com. For expertise, we are going to do the same thing. JSON and the user. If you can't get our expertise, what we are going to return expertise. Okay, for this one, JSON user. Then we are going to check full name. For ID, do the same thing. JSON of name, and we are going to check our ID. Don't try to mess this up. Okay. Oh my god, did I miss something? Here is the image. JSON user can't get our image, we are going to return just image. And for this one, I'm going to copy paste it and put it inside this. Yes, oh my god, why should I miss every time? User. That's all we need to do for this one. And do else catch e, and our outer is going to be user model for our article. What we are going to return the same as const list for bio. And to be short bio. Created at. Okay. Let me add validate for created at. You can't use this kind of data structure. It's not going to read Flutter. Like I got stuck a lot of time to fix this problem. For our email test at gmail.com. For expert is going to be just string, for full name, for ID is going to be ID, for image is going to be image, and our cloud image is going to be our cloud image, and we need to add semicolon. That's all we need to do. Then what we are going to do, we are going to return. Let me add, like, for our image, there is an image link. Yeah, that's all we need to do. Then we are going to return. We are going to return article model, and need to map it out. For outer is going to be outer. Let me write one of them, and we are going to do by copy paste JSON, look like this, and we are going to add content. That's what we're going to do. I don't want to rewrite everything. Let me copy paste it from here. For outer until then. Outer is going to be, and I think I just misspelled it. Let me change everything with this one. Where is my outer? There is no an outer. Here is it. When I'm trying to write it, I just misspell it. If you are missing this one, here is there another outer. The entity. Let me start with this one. And we are going to move to model. Doesn't matter. For our user model, This thing is not working. I have no idea still. Damn, should work. Boom, 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 boom. What am I doing? Okay, this author, then author. Where is another author? Article module. That's all fixed. Then what we are going to do, we need to map it out. Dun, 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 dun. Map of string or dynamic, then change it into JSON. Then we are going to return some dictionary to return this. Here is it. Where everything is red. Dude. I missed something. Don't think so. I didn't miss anything, but I just got an error. Oh my god, I think we are going to implement this in here. I think so. Yeah, I just missed semicolon. This body is not complicated. Why? JSON. This body is because now we are not going to return anything. Already we are returning it. Here is my return. Why this thing is not? Oh my god, I just missed another thing. This thing is going to be closed in here. Yeah, everything is returned successfully. Then only thing we got problem is in here. List. Oh, this thing is not defined in the map. Why? I didn't change it into list. Oh, here is change it into list. Find correct method. And let me remove this one. Yeah, just the bracket error. That's how we are going to build our model. It's a little bit confusing, but what we are going to do is like when we are trying to call our user model, if some user is authenticated, that user is going to return his like the whole profile, and if that user is posted an article, that article is like showed up in the list. That's what we are going to do inside our user. If we come back to our article, when you are try to call an article, we are going to return that all detail or that file of article, and we are going to tell them like who is the author of that article. That's what we are going to do. Another thing is going to be measured by like our backend engineers. Then, okay. After that, we need to create just DTO for updating. If you wanted to update an article, what we are going to do is create article model, create article model dot dart. If you want to try to create it, like we are going to use another kind of model, we are going to pass what kind of thing we need to pass. This thing is okay, create model, and what we are going to pass, we are going to pass just little things. Here is the thing we need to pass. Let me create a constructor for all over this, and we need to map it out. Map string dynamic to JSON, and we are going to return those things. To access this file, we need to import dart.io. That's all we need to do. And we need to add the semicolon. If you want to create like or update, if you try to update like or edit any kind of article, we don't want to change the ID or other things. We just want to change our title, our subtitle, photo, tags, and the content. That's all we need to change. If we come back to this one, like our like count is not going to be changed, and our author is not going to be changed because our author is authority, and our ID and date is going to be automatically worked, and our ID is still the same. The last thing we need to create for our model is we need an article mapper. I will explain it this thing for future use, just an extension for our article. Let me create article mapper so that inside here just an extension article mapper on article, an extension for our article entity, and article model is going to return to article model. Then let me implement this one, and we are going to return article model. Our article model is going to look like this. Then we need to add the semicolon. That's all we need to do. This is going to help us to extend. That's enough for our model. Then the next thing we need to build is like our remote data source and local data source. Can implement those things. Let's start with our remote data source. Inside our data, let me create folder called data source. And inside this folder, let me create a file article remote dart, and let me create another file article local.dart. Is going to help us. We need to separate it, like you guys understand why I'm doing this. Oh my god, this remote data source is going to be in our data, is not going to be inside our module. Here is our data resource model, and let me create another folder for repository slash article repo. That because I just short it out repo because like I don't want to confuse myself with another domain. Here is it like article repository. That thing is going to be confused us. That's why I'm going to use repo. And let me implement it. Let me close everything except the main, and let me get back to close our user. Here is our data remote. Here is my remote. To do that, let's create abstract file, abstract class, article remote data source, and to implement it in here, future, going to accept article model, and of course we are going to create like get article by ID, get article by ID. For this function, what we are going to pass it, just a string of an ID, article ID. That's why we need to pass it. The next thing we need to build is like post article. For that, future. If you try to post it out, what we are going to expect, of course, we are going to expect article model. Let's post article. What we are going to pass it to get this kind of article model. Of course, we are going to pass another article model. Article model. Article. Then need to update article to that feature model, update article. As we are going to pass it, still the same thing, article model, and we are going to pass article for parameter. For delete, we're going to do the same thing. Let me copy paste this thing. I don't want to rewrite everything. Delete article, deleted article. To do that, it looks like the upper one. We are going to pass string of article ID, article ID. The next thing we need to build is delete, update, post, get, normal, another get article, just normal article, and we are expecting a list of article. Yeah, we are going to expect list of article, and what we are going to pass it to get that thing. We don't want to pass anything. Why this thing is not working? For filter, what we are going to do, let me copy paste. I don't want to list it out every time. To filter article, filter article, what we are going to pass it, we are going to pass two things. The first thing is tag. Tag entity is going to be tag, and string of title. That's what we are going to pass it. The last thing what we are going to, we need to get a tag. To get tag, single tag, what we are going to expect, list of tag model. Here is tags model, and what we are going to pass it. We don't want to pass anything. Not get tag. I think it's going to be get tag. Going to be get tag. Yeah, I think that's all we need to do it. After that, like, we need to implement everything. Let's create a class and let's call it article remote implement, and it's going to implement or extend. Let's use implement article remote. Then let's add our 7 missing overriders, and we are going to implement each and every one. Okay. Now we're going to implement it. Get back to this one. Let's initialize our custom client. We are building this thing before, but not working for update and delete. We are going to edit after this one. Custom client. Where is custom client? For side image work. Custom is not spell look like this, but I think it doesn't matter. You should fix it when you are working with this one. Custom client is going to be client, and let's import this one. The last thing we need to do is, because we need to create a constructor, then we are going to implement. The first thing is delete. Now we're going to delete it. To delete is going to be asynchronous, because it's going to require some data. Okay. Before working with delete, we need to customize this one, because this thing is working for get and post. What we are going to do is, we need to implement another thing. If the time is gone, like, okay, let me finish this thing and I will continue in the next video, because it's going to be too long. Or you can finish it in the next time. Yeah, here is it. So there is, like, let me pause it in here, like, I got tired and a little bit break. I will continue in the next time. Next time we are going to build our local and repository. After that, we are going to implement just presentation layer using block and UI. That's all we need to do. Thank you guys for watching this video. Bye bye.